That was one of the wildest Raw episodes I've seen in a while. Bold fraud, are we cooking again? Punk vs Cena, Truth cut his hair on live television, LA Knight is coming for Seth Rollins and a new World Heavyweight Champion. I can't be the only one who doesn't know how to feel about that. I'm confused, frustrated, excited. I'm sad but I'm eating. I'm in love with the way the ring general I'm seeing. Nobody saw this coming. I was 100% sure we're going to see Bill Goldberg, he's going to attack Gunther, Jey Uso retains Gunther versus Goldberg. That was the most logical scenario. It made sense whether you like it or not. Goldberg is going to have his final match and I thought it's going to be against the ring general Gunther. But I was so sure Jey Uso was retaining by some shenanigans. Man, there is so much to talk about when it comes to this Raw episode. Most of it is actually really positive. You know, WWE are all about ups and downs, especially right now. But I'm so glad we got a Raw episode where I'm like, I could make like 2 or 3 separate videos about this. I'm not saying this episode was generational, but we actually got some serious story development, some exciting stuff, so why don't we just talk about it, people? But before that, make sure to smash this like button, annihilate the subscribe button! Every single subscribe and like counts. The show kicks off with John Cena. He calls R-Truth support meaningless and calls everybody keyboard warriors. Gotta love when WWE wrestlers speak directly at ya. He talks about his retirement tour. It's now down to 19 dates. Now he wants real competition. He defeated everyone from R-Truth to Cody Rhodes already. CM Punk interrupts. This is what we've been awaiting for, people. Punk, Cena, probably should have done it at Money in the Bank because, well, we'll get to that. CM Punk is not here to defend the company, corporation. He's here to defend the fans. The fans are his boss, not the final boss. He accuses John Cena of taking shortcuts, and this championship is all about obsession. I see what it did to you. I had the same problem. This championship turns people into monsters. To defeat the monster, I need to become one again. He challenges John Cena to a match right here, right now. Crowd goes wild. Wrestling fans never learn. Somebody in the audience, Little Frankie was like, yay! Cena versus Punk on Monday Night Raw! You didn't watch Raw for decades! You don't understand how that works, kiddo. Obviously, we're not gonna get that match, you stupid. Well, anyway, I like this part because everybody stood up like, oh my god, are we actually going to see that? Then John Cena says, what about this? If you want to face me, you gotta do it in Saudi Arabia. I told you, Little Frankie, you stupid son of a bitch. Like, come on, kiddo! I love this. Okay, let's talk about it. I'm one of the biggest CM Punk fans in the world. Is it hypocritical that he talked so much shit about WWE going to Saudi and now he's going to probably main event the show? Yes. Like, even as the biggest CM Punk fan, I can admit that. Do I care? Not necessarily. You know, I don't give a shit. It's John Cena versus CM Punk. One part I like about Saudi WWE shows that it starts at normal time in my country, 5 p.m. Love it. But I love that John Cena actually addressed the situation. Sure, everybody knows what CM Punk thinks about WWE traveling to Saudi. So sure, not the character, the person took that opportunity. But at least in kayfabe, John Cena is like, well, you gotta wrestle in Saudi if you truly want that. You know, they don't need to go into it too deep because not the best business decision. I feel like that's as much as we actually need. So, yes, the match was actually later made official. We are getting John Cena versus CM Punk. Sure. You know, I wish it was at Money in the Bank. I kinda wish it was at SummerSlam. It's a very big match, and for most people, Saudi WWE shows are like, you know, again, on a positive note, we are getting John Cena versus CM Punk, and I'm all for it. Then we see Seth Rollins teasing a cash-in. Before watching Raw, the biggest question was, will Seth Rollins cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Jey Uso? That was also on my mind. I was like, well, Gunther is definitely not winning, but we might see the cash-in. Maybe it turns into a triple threat match like at WrestleMania 30. Seth Rollins does the heist again. Then we saw Chad Gable versus AJ Styles. Chad Gable is all banged up, so that was a pretty short match. Didn't really bother me. AJ Styles takes a pretty quick victory right here. I'm happy AJ got the W because obviously he got screwed by El Grande Americano, who's very close to Chad Gable. They're like buddies, I guess. Maybe even related, I'm not even sure. And Chad Gable losing doesn't mean much right here. He wrestled two very physical matches. By the way, I have seen the Vikingo versus Chad Gable. It breaks my heart that so many people are turning on Chad Gable. We got the Women's King of the Ring qualifying match. This time around, it's all about fatal four-ways, which I don't really mind. Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Roxanne Perez, and Liv Morgan, who are almost like in this Judgment Day partnership. So very good match. Y'all know I like triple threats, fatal four-ways, especially on free television. I like the variety. Vince McMahon's WWE made me hate like these six-man tags, so I guess that's why anytime I see something different, I really appreciate it. So Raquel Rodriguez interfered. WWE told the story of Liv Morgan and Roxanne being in this Judgment Day thing, but Roxanne was the one who won the match. And obviously Liv Morgan ain't happy about that, something that Nikki Bella later mentioned on the show. John! Oh, John! Becky Lynch was about to enter the ring, and we see Austin Theory and Grayson Waller arguing. The trigger was still not pulled, people. WWE are still teasing this breakup. It's like they teased it for like a month, then for a month we had nothing. They don't even appear on our televisions. Well, barely. Come on, just do it already. You can look, but you can't touch. So Becky enters the ring, boasts about her legacy as a multi-time champion, Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber winner, the first woman to main event WrestleMania, and a best-selling author. The Intercontinental Championship right now is the greatest prize in wrestling because she holds it. We see Lyra Valkyria. Lynch accused Valkyria of ruining her weekend and claimed she tried to kill her after losing to Lynch at Money in the Bank, demanding an apology. You're a crazy bird lady. So I'm enjoying this, but remember what I said, people? It's all about Bayley. It's all about Bayley because Bayley came back. She attacked Becky Lynch. It is happening, people. So the story got interesting. We got some progression. New champion plus Bayley's return. Bayley got screwed by Becky Lynch. Now we can have that match for the IC Championship. Better yet, we might even get a triple threat match later down the line. So I'm very excited about it. I think WWE are nailing it with the story. It got slow at one point, but now it just picked up, and I was probably, way too quick to judge. But then R-Truth stands up on the commentary table, addresses the crowd saying that their voices matter, and thanks everybody for bringing him back. He's back for the people, not just as the comedic R-Truth, but as someone different and alive. He pulled out scissors, cut off his braids, and proclaimed, "The truth has set me free. I am Ron Killings." Holy shit, Chance, what a moment. Something you probably should watch on YouTube at least, because when I'm explaining it, it sounds so stupid. So R-Truth stands up on the table and cuts his hair. That sounds lame. That sounds horrible. But when you actually watch the segment, it's this message. He's no longer R-Truth, which is also kind of interesting because people wanted R-Truth. That's why he was so popular, because of his comedic side. Not a problem for me though, because I'm excited about his character development. It might be one of his greatest WWE runs ever, which is kind of crazy that is happening just now. But, it's also kind of interesting how people like the character. That's why they cheered for him. And when he's back, he's no longer with that character. It's interesting. Triple H posted a picture with R-Truth on X. You can tell he hates it. You can tell he hates it. I can read people's minds. I can read people's minds. What I also like about this new character is that I have no idea what's gonna happen next. I have no idea, zero idea what the plans are. I mean, John Cena is focusing now on CM Punk. What R-Truth is going to do? It's so wild. Here's what I like. Another King of the Ring qualifying match, right? Sammy, Dom, Penta, Braun obviously enjoyed the match. So many great talent right here. Tournaments always had a special place in my heart, people. But LA Knight interferes, attacks Braun Breaker, wild crowd, and Sami Zayn takes the W. Then Karrion Kross says, "Good job, you're a manipulator." Sami says, "No, I'm just good enough, and I'm good enough to win the World Championship. Stay out of my business." Basically the same promo every week, unfortunately. Can we just get Karrion actually in front of an audience? But let's talk about LA Knight. This means, I think, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. LA Knight being in a rivalry against Seth is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Now, my WWE Universe activated. Shitty universe. Where I have the worst ideas, people. The worst ideas. One of those ideas is telling my stupid ass big ass forehead. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins for the Money in the Bank briefcase. LA Knight wins. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. I would love it. Nah, seriously, that's not gonna happen. But you know, him being in a rivalry against Seth Rollins is a big deal. I almost expect the WWE to just put him in the mid-card again. And then just, you know, get all the other guys over, which... Come on. But then we got Nikki Bella. She's excited to be back. She hypes up Evolution and praises the women's division. She called Stephanie Vauquer Wakwa or something. Stephanie Wakwa! John, I love these women. They're so great. Especially Stephanie Wakwa. It happens to the best of us. Once I called Julia Gulia. Well, that's how you read it in my language, at least, man. Anyway, Liv Morgan interrupts. She calls Nikki jealous. Basically, this set up a match at Evolution, I'm pretty sure. Liv Morgan says, "You're all alone." Obviously, it's no longer John time. And Nikki says, well, nobody knows who Dominic belongs to. So we got a fight, and Liv came out on top. So obviously, a match at WWE Evolution, which is pretty exciting. Then we got Gunther versus Jay, World Heavyweight Championship. The result we got, the most simple result, is something I didn't see coming. The match was alright, you know, we've seen it so many times, I didn't really care about it that much. I was just waiting for that big moment. Gunther! Why are you disrespecting legends? I've been watching the WWE product, Gunther, and I gotta say, I'm eating as hell. I'm eating, my wife is eating, and Gage is eating. But now, Gunther locks him in. Jey Uso passes out. We have a new World Heavyweight Champion. Pyro, everybody is confused, shocked, and that's how the show ends. So many questions. Let's start with the first one. What's gonna happen with Seth Rollins? If Seth Rollins was meant to become the World Heavyweight Champion, why wouldn't they do that right now? Why do the switcheroony, hot potato shit? Or Seth Rollins is gonna hold that Money in the Bank briefcase for a very long time. Very confusing, man, but in a way I kind of appreciate it because I like unpredictability in professional wrestling. I can definitely see Sami Zayn winning the championship and Seth Rollins cashes in right away. Now let's talk about Gunther being the World Heavyweight Champion. Not the most exciting thing because we've seen it so recently, I get it though, and I'm happy for Gunther. So when it comes to Gunther being a champion, don't really have much to say. You know, I did feel like his first championship title reign was kinda... I wouldn't even say too short, it's just that we didn't get enough cool shit, enough interesting opponents. He spent majority of it facing Jey Uso, and for a wrestler like Gunther, we kinda won these dream matches. When it comes to Jey Uso losing the championship, I'm feeling so many different emotions, man. You know, believe it or not, I did not hate Jey Uso. I think he's fine, it's just that WWE turned him into this eating machine. I didn't like that. But I also feel like, why did he win the championship in the first place then? He didn't do shit with it. At least now we can say, yes, he won the championship, and he definitely deserved it, he earned it, he was so interesting, you know, since 2020. But I also feel like he wasn't even given that big of a chance. Because when you really think about it, ever since Mania, 90% of his promo segments were basically big entrance, stops, yeet again. And then he's like, one word, yeet. I'll retain the championship, oos. That's it. Not a single segment, not a single match that I can, right now at least, think of that was particularly good. The only highlight was probably the tag team match, but that was not for the World Championship. I'm so confused about this. You know, in a way, I feel like it wasn't even Jay's fault, it's just that WWE Creative was so shit during that time. People, make sure to go to my Reddit, post something about this. I'm very interested in your opinions. I'll react to it on the next Reddit video, but let's end the video with this, with a question to y'all. The Great Forehead community, the greatest wrestling community on the planet, pristine. Is Jey Uso another one of these wrestlers who's never going to become a world champion again in the WWE? Let me know in the comments below. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.